Welcome back to Afternoon Express live on SABC3, where the stage is yours. Our guest today, Sibusiso Mashiloane, is a prolific artist whose academic credentials speak volume on the kind of discipline and passion he has for music.
He got his master's degree in jazz performance and graduated cum laude from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. He is now becoming an integral performer within the South African and African international jazz scene. I mean, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I think your talent and your academic accolades speak volumes for the kind of discipline that you have for your music.
Yeah.
Why jazz? Where did that passion spark?
I think it comes from home. You know, I grew up from my aunts, my mother, since this mother, and from my uncles. You know, they always played the music. You know, so for me, going for jazz was not a foreign thing to do. You know, but it was just doing what is happening at home. But the only thing that was different is that now I'm playing it live, you know, but music has always been at home. You know?
Do you feel like the more you study, because now you're working on your PhD in jazz, do you feel like you become a better musician? Are those two codependent? Yeah,
I mean, actually it helps me to really understand what is really happening, because now I'm basically unpacking theoretically, you know. And so it makes me even understand more. For example, my PhD is on characterizing South African jazz, you know. So basically, then it requires me to really know what I'm talking about from a theory perspective. So studying really is the way for me. Yeah.
I find it so fascinating to understand the theory of art and the theory behind music, because I mean, there's so much, when you listen to a complex piece of music, I often like to think, I mean, who made this? Because there is so much thought to go into it. So I'm always so fascinated by the academics behind creating a particular sound, because it evokes so much motion and creates so much thought.
Yeah, but also I think there is music before theory.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course.
So it kind of helps. For example, when I compose my music, I don't first think theory, you know, but I first try to hear the melodies, you know, and then I apply the harmony or the theory, and then theory comes after.
Yeah. What do you want your music to evoke? Because I mean, jazz is quite emotive, and when you listen to it, it can evoke an array of emotion. What do you always hope for, aim for?
In this case, for example, I just released my album now, Closer to Home. Basically, I want the album to tell stories even to people that are not in the country, you know, to tell what is home to me, what is South Africa to me, you know. So I always, for example, in one of the pieces that I'm going to play now, it's one of the old pieces by my legend, Bheki Mseleku, you know, who I always look up to, you know. So when I play that piece, I'm expecting people to zoom closer to who they are, you know, and what is making them, or what has made them. Yeah.
Well, it's working, and I think that sound is definitely being echoed throughout the world, because you've just been awarded 2 unbelievable awards. Why don't you tell us what those awards were and how it felt to win them?
In 2016, I released an album, Mashiloane, which got the best contemporary, and then I think the best jazz album from Mzansi. And I'm excited that I'm also next week going to Afrima, to Ghana, to present the other album that I actually composed for my mother. It's titled Rotha, to present it. So it means a lot.
Wow, it must be so fulfilling to have people really acknowledge your work and really just value it. It must be such a gratifying feeling.
Yeah. You're also a lecturer, right? I mean, sometimes lecturers study a particular thing, but they don't necessarily practice in it. What does it feel like to teach students and have them learn from someone who is an actual musician, who's winning awards, and also knows the theory of music?
I think it kind of helps, you know. Actually, it motivates them to even study further, you know. Well, my students, they always say they're looking up to me, or they're looking up to us as their lecturers, you know, because we are not only teaching, but we are also practicing what we're teaching, you know. For example, they are able to see me on stage, you know, and very often, you know. So it kind of motivate them, you know.
Yeah.
And for me as a teacher, it also helps me to, because I don't only teach, but I also learn from students, you know. Well, they don't believe that, you know, but I also draw energy from them. I also learn from them, you know.
I've always got this theory that you can teach somebody all the business skills that they need to know. It's not going to make a great entrepreneur. And you can teach somebody all the musical notes, and you can teach them all the sheet music and how to read music and how to play music, but you can't make a great musician. So how do you teach passion in your class?
I try to zoom closer to what they like the most. For example, I teach in my classes, I treat my students differently. I just try to really get an understanding of why they're wanting to learn. For example, right now, most students that are into hip-hop, they're into gospel, you know. So I try to, whenever I bring the harmony or whenever I bring the theory, I try to also bring it closer. No, man, I've also worked with some hip-hop guys, you know. For example, like the late hip-hop guy, I worked with him at some point. I played for him, you know. And also played with the house guys, you know, that are big in the industry. So it kind of helped me to teach them the theory because I've been there and I've played the music that they want to play, you know. So, yeah.
Well, if I can tell you one thing, I was watching you do your sound check, and it's a similar vein that runs through all of the really, really epic musicians, is when you watch them do the sound check, you become the instrument, and you just see the passion, and it just flows through you. The music, it's a soul thing. And it just flows from you into the instrument, and it's so beautiful to watch.
Wow,
it's really, really wonderful.
I'm happy to hear that.
Emotional.
No, because it's really beautiful. I can't wait to hear you play again.
Thank you. I mean, I don't have a choice, man. In order for me to give the best, I have to be in it, you know?
Yeah, of course. Well done.
Well,
we felt
we're
it.
looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.